Today, John and Jim will take over then. We got a busy one for you as we got a pair of Aztecs tickets to give away. We got a pair of Bryan Adams tickets to give away, so stay tuned here. How about San Diego State basketball with a scrimmage tonight or an exhibition match tonight at the AHOS Arena? I'll be going to that. And then, of course, we got the Dodgers on the brink of losing the World Series, everybody. Hey-oh, all Team Canada up in here. We have some intense situations going on in the NFL right now as we have our fantasy football expert coming up at 1:30, Stan Lazinski, aka Big Stan, going to be jumping on the show. Jack Cronin's also going to swing by. Jack
JC.
Cronin from News Radio 600 Kogo. Every time I talk to him, I get a little bit smarter. Jack Cronin is the voice of the USD Toreros men's basketball team. He's going to be jumping on to preview some San Diego State USD action at the AHOS Arena a little bit later tonight, plus a really interesting storyline that's hit college basketball. We will get into all of that, but let's start here. Sammy Long, hi, how are you?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
We're doing great, man. It's a beautiful day here in America's finest city.
It's a little hot today, not gonna lie.
Is it really? I've been stuck in the studio.
Yeah, it's a little like, hey, I'm all for the great weather, but it is fall. Like, it can cool down a little bit.
We literally carved pumpkins this morning on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. I'm fully into the fall era of my life right now, and if it's hot outside, I don't think I'm going to be very happy about that. Now, what is cool is the Fall Classic is going on right now. And the Los Angeles Dodgers kind of inexplicably have taken this series to 2-2, which is shocking because I really felt like after that 18-inning insanity that we saw a couple of nights ago, that the series was over, that the Blue Jays would be broken and not be able to come back from that. And then to turn on the TV yesterday and see the Blue Jays really going to town on the Dodgers in LA was impressive to see some resilience from that team up north that I didn't know that they were going to have. I thought this series was done, dead, put a fork in it. And the Blue Jays comeback yesterday was damn impressive after an 18-inning game. Sammy, what'd you think about the game?
I think it's been interesting how in two different times in this series, I think game one was a product of the Blue Jays being told all week that they had no shot in this series. And
the Steve Hartmans of the world saying 0% chance.
0% chance. ESPN did a poll, but they polled 20 people, 20 like MLB executives and managers, and 19 picked the Dodgers. Then I think after that game, the Blue Jays were feeling themselves. They were chanting, kind of celebrating the crowd like they won the World Series, and you saw the Dodgers respond in game two. I think the inverse happened last night. I think the Dodgers win a massive game in game three. It feels like it's a heartbreaker for the Blue Jays because knowing the Dodgers have a pitching advantage, at least a starting pitching advantage in every game that they're going to have, losing that game if you're Toronto felt like it was a really big deal. And then it kind of felt like the Dodgers came out, they get an early lead, 1-0, kind of almost the sense that they're feeling like, yeah, we're going to roll these boys. And you got to credit Toronto. I mean, they came out, bats ablazing, Vladdy hit that nuke, and then they were doing something the Dodgers have not been able to do, which is just get on base and put pressure on the base pass. They exposed the Dodger bullpen last night. Bonda and Treinen came in. That was a disaster. This is a really interesting game tonight because Yusevich was good in game one. Now, I do think he's going to be that high launch point. The Dodgers have already gotten a look at him. And then Blake Snell, we're going to see how he responds. Definitely feel like this is a must win for the Dodgers. I think if the Dodgers lose this, I'm not saying it's over because the Dodgers talent can win 2 games on the road, but that's a tall task if you lose tonight going Friday and Saturday in Toronto.
Definitely if the Dodgers fall tonight, momentum swings all the way back to the Toronto Blue Jays. And I think it kind of started to yesterday. Now there's obviously no matter what, there's going to be at least 2 more games left in this series. The next 2 after tonight would be in Toronto because of how the World Series is set up. So this is the final chance for the Dodgers at home to get a win. And then the entire momentum, everything goes back to the Toronto Blue Jays, who would take the series back to Canada. All right, let's get to the big 3 a little bit early today because we do have Jack Cronin, who's going to be jumping on in about 10 minutes to take a look at the 2 of the San Diego college basketball programs, plus a new storyline that's hit college basketball that I don't know we were entirely prepared for. Jack's going to have some good insight on that. But Sammy, if we're ready, let's go ahead and smash the big 3.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers. It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
All right, if you want to watch the show, a couple ways for you to do so on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760, on X at Fletch and Sammy. You can find us there. We got a fun NFL MVP conversation we're going to be getting into in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. Sammy, where are we starting with the big three?
All right, let's do so. The Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are surprisingly, despite being 2-5, favored per ESPN bet at -125 to make the playoffs. So they are favored to make the playoffs. But the question is this: Lamar and Baltimore, who are 2-5, or Dak and the Cowboys at 3-4-1, who has a harder path to the playoffs?
I'm going to say Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. The reason behind it is because, A, they play in a little bit tougher division. You got a couple teams that are going to be, you got to play still in the Eagles and the Commanders, who will make things difficult, and the Giants, who are pesky as hell this year. So the Cowboys have that stacked against them. Plus, like, the Cowboys have been relatively healthy this year, outside of the CeeDee Lamb injury, outside of some time missed by Diggs on the defensive side. But the Ravens have been decimated by injury all season long, and now they're starting to get healthy again. Plus, you're getting your MVP quarterback back. Your defense is starting to get a little bit better. There was a time where 5 of their defensive players who had made Pro Bowlers were all out in this season. They're all starting to make their way back. The Ravens play in an easier division. The best you're going to have to deal with is the Steelers, who have some serious questions marks surrounding them. So I think the Ravens actually have the easier path here. And if the Ravens are coming to your house in the postseason, look out. Because with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, they can run time of possession all game long, and they're terrifying.
Certainly, if you're a team at the top of the AFC, where it's the Colts, Chiefs, Bills, Patriots, that is not a team that you want to see in your first game, because it's everything you just laid out. The Ravens, in terms of talent, in a one-game scenario, that's scary for any team. And they could be favored, not against all those teams on the road, but that could be a pick'em game. I am going to go with the Cowboys, though, because I simply think that they're
for
just
easier path forward.
Yes, just because they're a better team. I get it. The division is way harder. If you look at on paper, Baltimore has Pittsburgh flailing. Cincy, I don't believe in. They obviously cost us our Circus Survivor, and the Browns are a disaster class. But on the side of the Cowboys, we have seen them play well against big-time competition. We saw them tie with the Packers. I know they didn't play well against Denver. They played well against Philly. They probably should have won that game had they just caught the ball a few times. I think that they're just a better team, and they have one problem, and that's the defense, and they are getting Overshown back. They're getting Trayvon Diggs back. We'll see if they make a deal. The Ravens, outside of Lamar and Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers, have problems everywhere. Justin Madubuike, their star defensive tackle, he's not coming back for the entire year. So I just think in terms of, while I could see both these teams making the playoffs, I just think the Cowboys are a bit better team despite the performance against the Denver Broncos. There's less holes to fill for the Cowboys than there are in Baltimore, in my estimation.
Here's the historical significance. If the Ravens do come all the way back, and right now they're favored by ESPN to make the postseason, only 4 teams since 1970 have gone from 1-5 to making the postseason. That'd be the 1970 Bengals, the 2015 Chiefs, Sammy remembers that, the 2018 Colts, and the 2020 Washington football team, as it was called at that time. So they're one of 5 teams, if they were to make the postseason, to do that. Sammy, what's next?
Sticking in the NFL, Aiden Hutchinson, big contract today, 4 years, $180 million, $141 million guaranteed, some of the most guaranteed money ever for defensive linemen. But so the Lions overall have given out $946 million in extensions. I'll list them off: Hutchinson, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, McNeil, Joseph, Jamison Williams, Taylor Decker, and Reed. Can this core win the whole thing? And do you think the Lions, this is smart signing all these guys, or do you think that this is a little bit, they've been bad for so long, they're trying to keep their talent to make sure they're still relevant?
What's crazy is the Lions are the Padres comp in the NFL. Seriously, they have signed a bunch of money to a bunch of people. Look, you get the new head coach who is fun and kind of inspires the whole city. Everybody gets behind the Lions. There were times when I was growing up where that stadium was empty for Thanksgiving game. Like it was a rough time for the Detroit Lions. Now, my sister lives 20 minutes outside of where the stadium is. She said you can't walk outside without seeing people in Lions gear in the middle of the summer when football season isn't even going on. It's completely changed the culture. Well, the guys who changed that culture is everyone you just listed off, Sammy. It's the Jared Goffs, it's the Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Aiden Hutchinson's a huge part of that. He needed this contract. They needed to pay it. Now, the pressure is on those same guys you just listed off to go do something that's never been done before in team history, and that's win a Super Bowl. That's what you are paying all these people for. And if they don't get it done, well, they'll be having similar conversations like Sammy and I had right after the Padres got bounced from the postseason once again.
I like the Padres comp because it does feel, and this is a whole different conversation, but the Padres have stars. Like they had when that's why I think it's so frustrating for a lot of the city when they don't come through in the biggest moments, because you look at the roster and you go, this is a team that has a chance to go do something in the MLB postseason. In terms of the Lions, it's interesting because Lions football has been irrelevant for so long, and they were the Browns of the NFL. They were the laughing stock. They always had the bag over their heads for the 0-16 season. This core group of guys is great, but you talk about maybe a team outside of the Buffalo Bills and the Ravens to a lesser extent because the injuries have killed them so bad. The Lions have the most pressure in the NFC because you go from 2 years ago, you're a great story. You win 2 playoff games, you beat the Rams, and you beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 49ers have that historic comeback in the NFC title game. It was just thought of, though, as a great season. Like the fact that they were even there, won a couple playoff games. Last year, Jaden Daniels comes into your house and lights you up. And you kind of get the excuse made, which is fair, that the entire defense was hurt. I believe 4 of their 5 defensive linemen were out for that game. But this year, because you paid all these guys, this is the roster you're going to have. There's not a lot of help coming. You're telling Detroit that this is the core group of guys you think can get it done. I think the Lions are going to be a dangerous threat in the playoffs, but gone are it's just the lovable Lions, and like they actually need to win. They have some of the most pressure on them in the postseason.
Giving $141 million to somebody who's been as injured as often as Aiden Hutchinson in college,
it worries you a little bit.
Yeah, it's nerve wracking. All right, let's squeeze one more in here.
We're going to head to the NBA. Tyrese Maxey, the 76ers, dropped 39 points and 10 assists. The Sixers are currently 4-0 on the season. BJ Edgecombe's been one of the breakout stars of the year. The Bulls are also undefeated in the Eastern Conference. Is either team worthy of being a favorite in the East?
It is the NBA. We are so early on. It's kind of tough to say right now. We'll see once everybody gets healthy, like, for the Lakers, for everybody else. But the Eastern Conference right now, 4 games in. Good for the Sixers. It's early, though, man. It's tough to say favorites.
It is cool with the Sixers, though. Like, this is the team that they thought that they would be last year when they had Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. Maxey's a breakout star, but you relied on 2 injury-prone players in Paul George and Joel Embiid. Getting a guy in BJ Edgecombe, Jared McCain coming back. The Sixers are a team to watch this year in the Eastern Conference.
Coming up next, a new trend in college basketball that San Diego State's going to get a first look at tonight in their scrimmage against USD. We got Jack Cronin jumping on the show at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. We got 13 chances every single weekday for you to win $1,000 with bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 1 o'clock. All right, in 10 minutes, we're going to get into this NFL MVP conversation, which has gotten a little ridiculous because of one name that's being left off of it. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Right now, we welcome Jack Cronin into the studio. News Radio 600 Kogo. The smartest man in the building, bar none. Hi, Jack. How are
Fellas, you? Doing great. Doing great.
You look great.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise. College basketball.
It's been a long time. It's finally back tonight. Aztecs, Toreros on the court at Viejas Arena. 7 o'clock tip off. You're on the call for this one?
We got it. USDToreros.com here. A little exhibition game tonight. So this is still a preseason scrimmage for these two sides. But it's nice to see them on the same court. And obviously, given the addition of UCSD these days, the D1 ranks, it's fun to see any of these three schools going at it.
I do know that on GoAztecs.com, it's saying the first 1,000 San Diego State students are getting free fight song t-shirts. So if any of Sammy's friends are listening right now, you can get a cool little t-shirt down at Viejas Arena tonight. But I think what makes this game interesting, Jack, and the scrimmage interesting, is there's a new trend that's hit college basketball where European professional players who have played, some of them 5 or 6 years in the pros overseas, whether it's in Bosnia or Poland or in Serbia, they're playing professionally and then realizing, hey, I have eligibility in college basketball in the United States where I could be making NIL money that's either equal to or maybe a little bit less, but the exposure level is so much higher by playing American college basketball. And USD has a few of these guys on their team.
It's, I think, just the continuation. To me, and this is not really surprising. It's just the continuation of where the market has gone. And I remember being pretty surprised when the first changes happened, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago, being like, oh, okay. So we're living in a new world of college athletics, not just basketball, but college athletics in general. Like, oh, the system, the paradigm is way, way different. This is not that big a change because now that you're moving toward the revenue sharing and the NIL and all of these other things that are very much above board, like very like accepted and part of the practice. And many people think it should have happened a long time ago, whatever it is. Now that those things are there, you are seeing logical next steps. And in this case, what you referenced was there are 2 players for USD, one from Bosnia-Herzegovina and the other one from Poland, who are professional players, guys who have been paid to play basketball in a professional league in Europe in the past, are going to come for 2 years of eligibility and play at the college level because maybe you earn more, maybe you earn comparable amounts, maybe a degree, maybe come hang out in San Diego, which is the greatest city in the world, right? Like you're all of these benefits, but because the money is similar to what you could earn as a professional, you're going to instead of going to the G League or playing in Europe, you know, and bouncing around all these things, have a little bit of stability, have a good time, come to a great place like San Diego. So we're going to see some of that happen here tonight. It's a next logical step in the evolution of college sports.
Jack, I don't know if you can hear me, but they basically, I don't know if you saw this story. There was a G League player in the NBA that came back to college. Some college coaches really spoke out against this, saying this is kind of BS. Once you turn, semi-pro or pro, you shouldn't be able to come back. I'm just curious what your reaction to this is.
That would have been, I think, a good argument 5 years ago, but now things are different. Like things are just different. I don't know where we're going to move to if we're going to say, okay, anybody can play in college athletics as long as you haven't exhausted whatever eligibility there is. I think the medical red shirts and transfer rules and all these things, that stuff doesn't really come into play as much anymore. And so if you, in today's world, a lot of players are being paid to play, especially these high level programs. You're going to pay millions of dollars to play college football or college basketball. What would be the difference if you did go to the G League or to Europe and are now coming back? You've given that up. You're going to work and represent and be an ambassador for this brand, this school that you're a part of, this community. I don't see a difference in that now. 5 years ago, absolutely. That would have been like, whoa, that's way different than the model. Nowadays, I don't know.
And the amount of money you're dealing with is what's chaos.
Yeah.
Like San Diego State just got this $5 million commitment from Chase Fisher over at Blenders for over the next 5 years. And it's crazy, but everybody I talk to over at San Diego State, while they say, wow, how incredibly generous, how great, it's a good start. Is where it goes to, because in order to compete, you need more and more and more.
It's true. I mean, think about it. You know, in years past, you give $5 million and you get a part of a building, or you give $20 million, you get a building named after you. Well, this stuff goes quickly now because you're paying the roster every year. So the economics of it are way different, and you need to fund things at certain levels. That's where the revenue sharing comes in a little bit. That'll be kind of it'll be normalized a bit, and you'll have different rules and kind of steady streams of money that come in. But again, this is stuff we didn't talk about 5 years ago, but is very normal now and is changing the market. In this case, it's subtle compared to the huge difference from the years past.
I think it's also interesting in the sense of, like, there was before players were getting paid, you saw that kind of dilemma where you had a lot of the top players going to the NBA, people never heard of because they were going overseas, because they're like, I can make $500K or I can just play for school. It's cool that players get paid now in the sense of, because it is cool playing college basketball. It's better for the NBA and college basketball when we're all watching these guys in March Madness then become stars at the next level versus, hey, some guy you've never heard of who has great measurables who's getting picked in the top 5.
Yeah, good call. Because in college football is the league. There's no comparable college football around the world. It is here. It is this United States college football and then the NFL. Football doesn't have any comparison whatsoever. Basketball does. And so you could go to Europe, or you could go to the G League. I remember there was a G League team that was just guys who were kind of, playing in kind of a developmental type team, weren't even signed by other teams. So like you could go and earn money somewhere because you wanted to or needed to or whatever. Like that was a very legitimate path to the NBA. The basketball is much more of a global development sport. Football, we're here in football, but in basketball, that wasn't the case. Now, to your point, you're bringing guys back in, and whether it's a UConn or Kentucky or wherever else, or it's a San Diego State or a USD, that you can do that with a lot of different guys.
Coach Lavin's fourth year with USD. I believe that's right. Yeah. So 4th year with Coach Lavin. The program's been really good, having a lot of success under him. How are they looking this year?
14 newcomers. Wow. 14 newcomers, 6 returners for the University of San Diego.
Speaking of modern basketball.
Right. That's true. And so, you really you guys say, okay, how are we doing the roster every year? Are we going to make a big change here? In this case, they did. The economics at USD are much different nowadays, which is a very good thing. They've made the jump in terms of the new world of college basketball that I referenced earlier. Brand new practice facility, $35 million, brand new, open on campus. It is incredible. These are big leaps the program is making. And so you're 7 years removed from going to the postseason. If you're USD, they're going to try and make a jump with a lot of new guys on the roster this year, and a pretty wide open WCC before Gonzaga goes to the Pac-12 along with Oregon State and Washington State. You're adding in Seattle. So it's a pretty wide open league that's still in flux right now.
Can't wait to see it, man. This is fun. I love these crosstown games between San Diego State, UCSD, USD, doesn't matter. These are always great. And it's an exhibition match tonight. Where can people hear you talking about it?
USDToreros.com. A little exhibition broadcast here tonight as we kind of really preview, to your point, looking at 14 new guys on the roster. We're just watching like everybody else, but okay, what are the rotations going to be like? What are we seeing? And, to your point, watching guys like Boscovich or Binkowski, how are they going to fit into the new world of college basketball? We'll be seeing it here tonight.
It's going to be fun. I'll see you there, Jack.
Thanks,
Can't
man.
wait for it. San Diego State, USD tonight, 7:00. Looking forward to getting our first look at all the action between these two teams. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. The NFL MVP, there's some shadiness going on. Fletch and Sammy, we're the two who are going to rectify it. Coming up next, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by eBay. Game 5 of the World Series gets going from Los Angeles tonight at 5 o'clock. Dodgers currently minus 190 favorites after the Blue Jays tied up the series last night. Blake Snell will be getting the ball for the Dodgers, while Trey Yesavich, the rookie, will be going for Toronto. And the Lakers are back tonight in Minnesota, taking on the Timberwolves. That game is at 6:30. Minnesota is currently a 7.5-point favorite per Mike Trudell. Jackson Hayes will be a go after missing the last game, but Marcus Smart will still be out. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it with eBay. You find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, my compatriot, Sammy Long. We're with you till 2 o'clock today. Love talking to Jack Cronin, one of the smartest people I know. I'm not just saying that. And he's going to be on the call tonight for USD San Diego State. Now, Sammy, I like to think at this point, you probably know this about me. Gears are always kind of turning in my head, looking forward to the future, thinking about stuff that can benefit us. January 24th, San Diego State, that's a Saturday, by the way. San Diego State is playing at the University of Las Vegas in the Thomas & Mack Arena. Sales guy Dom, are you listening right now?
It's a fitting song that we're playing Back in the Saddle by Aerosmith, because the boys do love them some Vegas.
We do. And Sammy's going to be a little more involved with the Aztecs broadcast this year. We'll unveil some more of that soon. So I'm just thinking, like, maybe, I don't know.
Like maybe there's like two guys that could maybe get flown out there.
So maybe Friday, right after this show, we jump on a plane, head out, and then from Thomas & Mack.
You know what we're doing? We're just spitballing.
Just covering the San Diego State Aztecs basketball team. That's what we're doing. Just a thought.
Hey, I'm not going to say no.
Hey, Dom, maybe Circa wants to do something. I don't know. Just a thought. January 24th, Saturday, out in Las Vegas. Who knows? Maybe something cool could happen. I don't know. Maybe John Schaefer needs some help. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. John, we love us some John Schaefer, but
he needs 2 engineers on the road. That's what he needs.
And he also doesn't, drink, and he's eating sushi in Las Vegas in the middle of a desert. Like there's some problems with how he does Vegas.
Salesman Dom, if you're listening, just a thought. January 24th. It's a Saturday out in Las Vegas, San Diego State, UNLV. It's going to be a hell of a game. That game could have some major consequences on who wins the Mountain West Championship.
You know what we have to do? We have to watch it because we have to cover it.
Exactly right. And the only way I know how to cover things, unless it's, like in Wyoming or something, is to be courtside watching the game. That's all I know.
Yeah, in Wyoming, there's no reason to show up.
I mean, Wyoming, Laramie sucks, dude. No offense to anybody from Laramie who's listening right now.
No one's actually from Laramie, Wyoming.
Dude, Travis Dale freaking loves Laramie, Wyoming. That's like his favorite sound. All right, it is San Diego Sports 760. The NFL MVP race. Sammy pulled up these odds to me today, and he showed them to me. And I'm looking at it like, okay, obviously Sammy's showing this to me because Patrick Mahomes is the #1 favorite right now, but also, give me the top 5 real quick, Sammy, and you tell me and say it all the way through, and we'll tell you who's left off this list and go, why the hell is this guy left off? Top 5.
I'm pulling it up right now. All right, here we go. MVP odds. This is per FanDuel. So ESPN has a little bit different, but per FanDuel Sportsbook, Mahomes is plus 150 at the favorite. Josh Allen plus 450. Drake May plus 550. Matthew Stafford at plus 1,000. Jordan Love tie with him at plus 1,000, and Jonathan Taylor checking in at plus 1,400. So 14-1.
At number 6.
Or so seven, really.
You're telling me that Jordan Love has had more of an impact this season than Jonathan Taylor. Hell, you're telling me that Josh Allen has had more of an impact this season than Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is leading right now the most proficient offense in the NFL. He has 3 games where he scored over 3 touchdowns. He's on pace for like 2,500 scrimmage yards this season. And you're telling me that he deserves to be number 7 in the NFL MVP odds? I just make this a quarterback award already. Just make it the MVQB already, because I'm kind of sick of it. Like Saquon should have gotten it last year. We can all be very honest about that.
Completely.
Jonathan Taylor to this point in the season is the NFL MVP.
It is. Yeah, it is kind of BS that it's just become a quarterback award. They say it's not, but it really is.
It is. What do you have to do? If Saquon wasn't going to get it last year, what does someone have to do to get the award?
Well, what's hurting Jonathan Taylor, and I'm not saying this is right, but what's hurting him is the fact that the whole team is playing unbelievable. Like, the fact that Daniel Jones has been so good is honestly hurting Jonathan Taylor because it's like a great receiver who has a great quarterback. The receiver's not going to get it over the quarterback. Now, obviously, he's not throwing to Jonathan Taylor very much, but it's kind of like the whole storyline of the Colts. Now, I think there's going to be some opportunities because Mahomes and Allen play each other this Sunday. I expect both of them to play very well, but they are going to take into account who wins that game for NFL MVP. So one person will get knocked back. Drake May, I think, is a very intriguing option, especially at his price at plus 550, because he's beaten Josh Allen. So if you're Drake May, you want Allen to beat Mahomes, and then he plays Josh Allen one more time later in the season in New England, by the way, because they won that game in
Buffalo.
In Buffalo. You wonder about some voter fatigue also with Josh Allen. Like we've seen this in the NBA. Nikola Jokic could win the MVP every year, but people get tired of voting for Nikola Jokic because he literally is their whole team and runs their whole offense. I'm curious if we start to see some voter fatigue down the stretch, especially with Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's become a situation where the MVP is its own separate thing, and Offensive Player of the Year is where we're looking for the actual MVP now.
858 says, easy, Ben. MVP is a full year award. Vegas isn't stupid. You'll see why by week 14.
I don't blame Vegas for this, by the way. This isn't Vegas is predicting what's going to happen. And probably, by the way, if Mahomes keeps winning with these Chiefs, Mahomes is going to win MVP. I'm just saying it's not right. Vegas, the odds are probably how the odds exactly should be as of right now.
I mean, I think the top three of Mahomes, Allen, and Drake May are fair. I think Allen should be, Taylor should be in that. I don't see the Jordan Love thing above Jonathan Taylor. Stafford's been good, been very good. I would put Jonathan Taylor above them. But yeah, it is like it is becoming just a quarterback award. Now, I think Mahomes has a legit case for it, especially what he had to do with the lack of running game and the lack of receivers, leading the team in rushing to the first 4 weeks of the season. Josh Allen, obviously, at any point in the season has the ability to go off. Drake May is the guy that I think if you want plus money value right now is the most interesting because that's kind of the new sexy team. People like voting for new people. Mahomes has won an MVP. Josh Allen won it last year. I think Drake May at plus 550, especially if he beats Josh Allen again later this year. And the Bills might lose that division. That's not a joke.
No, the Patriots have been incredible so far this year, and you're starting to see the roster really come together with the defense that we knew Mike Vrabel was going to bring and the defensive savviness that Mike Vrabel was going to bring. And you pair that with a quarterback who is playing with more confidence than just about anybody. I don't know that Drake May continues like this. Like he's going to have one of those games where he throws 3 interceptions because he takes a lot of risks, man. He's fun as hell.
So 858 says James Cook should be ahead of Josh Allen. He has more yards per game than Jonathan Taylor. James Cook's been fantastic this year. I think what's going against Josh Allen is look at who they beat.
Right.
The Saints, the Dolphins. Their best win is Baltimore. That's why it's like Detroit and them are kind of interesting because their best signature win was Baltimore earlier in the season, and Baltimore is 2-5, and that win doesn't look as good as it could have. But the NFL MVP, it is interesting how
very Heisman-esque. It's become a bit of it is a popularity contest, and right now they know that Patrick Mahomes is the most popular player in the league, both on either side of the discussion.
But Mahomes deserves to be in the discussion for MVP
for sure. A favorite at this point. I don't know that that's the right.
What he has had to do though, with the lack
your King Mahomes has put everyone on his back.
Well, he has 21 touchdowns. Like Ben, I know you hate the Chiefs, but if you look at this objectively, Mahomes should be up there. I agree that Jonathan Taylor should be either the favorite or a co-favorite right now. But I mean, let's be real. He has 17 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns.
That's the most Chiefs fan thing I've ever heard in my life.
So wait, where should Patrick
Mahomes
be then?
Of course he should be near the top, and of course he will finish near the top.
So then what am I saying is so wrong?
Just the way you're saying it, I think, is the way that it ticks people off. And that's
you just don't like the Chiefs.
You're being very, very Nick right now. And I get it. Look, I understand it. It is cool to watch Patrick Mahomes, and he is the best player in football. There's no doubt about it in my mind. The only thing that pisses me off about this list is how far the most productive player in the NFL this year is down this list.
Well, I agree with that. I agree. Jonathan Taylor should be at the top or either a favorite or a co-favorite. But acting like Mahomes doesn't deserve to be up there is crazy. Because if you don't think Mahomes deserves to be up there, then Josh Allen certainly shouldn't be up there because I believe Mahomes has 6 more touchdowns than him on the season.
615 texts in and says, was that some Carnival Cruise Line karaoke version of Biggie Smalls? What did iHeart do to your guys' music budget? I don't think I heard that. What was that?
I played Juicy by Biggie Smalls coming out of break against Jack Cronin. You know, I was saying I saw this text and I listened to this at the break. It sounds good on our end, so I don't know if. Listen, Biggie Smalls is always an option.
858. I vote Taylor for MVP. Swift deserves it. Yeah, Taylor Swift has brought more eyes to the MVP than just
Shout out
anyone.
to Tay-Tay.
And 619. Objectively, as Sammy isn't being objective.
No, tell me why
objectively was crazy.
619. Tell me why Patrick Mahomes should not be in discussion for MVP.
By the way, this is Sammy on and off the air. Exactly.
I'm serious. Like, just make an argument to me why Mahomes should not be in the running for MVP
because
right now.
He has not had the best season so far of everybody.
Who is that?
You could throw numbers out there. Sure, he might be the best quarterback so far. I agree with you.
So if he's the best quarterback so far in essentially a quarterback award,
sure,
why would he not be towards the top?
Because the most productive player by far this year has been Jonathan Taylor.
Well, that's fine. If you think Jonathan Taylor should get it, I respect that. Jonathan Taylor's had an unbelievable season. And again, we're halfway home. I mean, but all these guys could fall off a cliff. But acting like you're acting like somehow Mahomes shouldn't even be in the conversation.
That's not what I'm
ludicrous.
saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. Objectively, Mahomes deserves to be near the top.
So then what's the problem with me saying that he should be towards the top?
It's crazy, Sammy. Just the way you say it is kind of crazy sometimes. But we all love you for it. We all have faith in Sammy. Did we get a winner last night, by the way? I honestly haven't checked. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
So Shane Bieber did not come through.
That's right. I was watching that.
BJ Edgecombe hit his under, which was big. Jalen Brunson hit his over, which was another big hit. I turned off the Warrior game.
Steph Curry did not get there.
Steph Curry died. So Ben's pick did not hit, and my Shane Bieber pick, unfortunately, did not hit.
Well, that's a bummer. All right. Well, coming up next, we'll see if we can get it back. Long shots with Sammy Long coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. You can always give Gary Cooper a call at 858-376-1299 or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. And I tell you all the time, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, Gary Cooper is the guy to call. But Gary, you got some other ways for our listeners to save money as well.
Well, I always try because I have so many different lenders that I can work with, but I do have lenders that use a lot of automation. And then, for example, instead of paying for a full appraisal, a lot of times they will use their AVMs to determine value, and therefore you don't have to pay for an appraisal. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, through their automated system, will sometimes waive appraisals. There's even cases where they only need a limited title policy as opposed to a full title policy. I've got lenders that if I use their in-house title and escrow, it streamlines everything, not only to be quicker, but also cheaper. So there are different ways to save money.
Call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Gary's looking out for you, man. Go get that degree. Spooky season is back on the free iHeartRadio app. Get into the Halloween spirit and stream all of your favorite eerie hits, haunted classics, and chilling playlists totally commercial free, whether you're throwing a monster mash at the house or just love a good scare. iHeartRadio has the perfect soundtrack for your spooky season. Listen now if you dare. Open the free iHeartRadio app and just search Halloween. All right, real quick, I'll squeeze this in. The Internet Invitational, the first episode debuted yesterday. The format of it, awesome. If you like good golf content on the internet, give it a shot. It's like 3 hours and 40 minutes. I was able to watch all 3 hours yesterday. The drama that they build within it is great. One of the guys missed his tee time, and Portnoy and the rest of the Barstool guys absolutely destroyed him, and it was costly for the team. But this is the direction golf is going in, and I fully support it. A lot of fun. Text line blowing up for us. 619 says, other than the Lions, who is the Chiefs beat?
Well, that's fair, the Lions, but I would counter with, the Lions and the Ravens were healthy when they were there.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is in response to what I said about Buffalo, who have the Buffalo Bills beat?
That's a great point. 619, Mahomes is only good when he has a team around him. If he has Herbert's team, he would look like Herbert. Jonathan Taylor is good regardless. I think I disagree with that.
I disagree with that.
Mahomes
Taylor is great regardless.
Mahomes took a pretty bad offense to the Super Bowl one time when it was really just him and Travis Kelce. 858, Justin Herbert has the same stats as Patrick Mahomes and a head-to-head win. Eat it, Sammy.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna let the Chargers do the talking down the stretch.
Are the stats right on that? Have Herbert and Mahomes had similar stats this year?
I can check that. I think there's a reason why Justin Herbert, even though Justin Herbert's a phenomenal quarterback,
he's great.
Why they went their last 2 wins are against Miami.
And I would
Minnesota.
say if you flip that, like Herbert on the Chiefs over the last few years, he's not getting to 6 straight AFC championship.
Right.
Games. That takes a special type of talent.
I'm not taking a shot at Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's a fantastic player, but the Chargers are 2-3 in their last 5 games.
760, and this one made me reflect a little bit because I've been in Sammy's situation here. A couple years ago, the Niners were a very, very good team. They were beating everybody, and I was defending Brock Purdy till my last breath against Rich and TD, who were just poignant and committed to tearing me down every step of the way, which I promise I'm not trying to do to Sammy. I'm just saying when he throws out words like objectively, it's kind of crazy. 760 says, Fletch, you sound exactly like Sammy when you talk Niners. I don't even think Sammy's trying to gloat either, but let the man have his fandom without grilling him 25-8. Enjoy the show, boys. Thank you. While I deliver, by the way, Ben Johnson should be coach of the year this year because every time he spoon feeds Caleb a script, it does so well. And then Caleb gets off the script.
It is frustrating. I appreciate
that. Bears are interesting, man, because those first 15 plays of a game, Caleb Williams is so good.
Well, it's frustrating as someone who wants Caleb Williams to do well because you look at
which every NFL fan should. He is special athletically. He's got one of those arms that could be generational. But every NFL fan should hope that the Chicago Bears finally got their quarterback, but you just don't see it when he's on his own.
2 things are working against Caleb. Number one, how good the draft class is around him. Drake May, Jaden Daniels already proved he's great. Drake May looks like he's going to be a superstar in this league.
He's in the MVP conversation.
I like McCarthy, completely out on him right now. We'll see if he does anything. Michael Penix has been very, very for the first little bit of his career. But Caleb, what's missing with Caleb is the 5-yard completion, the check down, the things that get you to the spectacular play. In college at Oklahoma and USC, he was able to run around because he was just a better athlete than everyone on the field. He was better than everyone, so he got bailed out of so much stuff, running around, doing this kind of loop thing he would always do behind the line of scrimmage.
What's the viral play where he the running back fumbles and he just ends up ripping it out anyways? Caleb Williams is amazing
in USC. Yeah. It's if he just learned how to do the little things. And when Ben Johnson, to this texter's point, keeps him in script the first drive, it looks great. When it's the third quarter and he's constantly looking downfield, it's like a problem. It's like his talent works against him.
Yeah, his ability to, which is honestly where I'll give Mahomes a ton of credit, is his first year in the league. He does have all this arm talent. He was able to throw over the top of everybody, and he had the wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, to just beat everybody over the top. And he did that his first year. And then there was a growing phase for Mahomes where he had to learn how to read the defenses and take the checkdowns, and he's done that better than just about
Mahomes
anybody.
struggled with it too, and then this is what they started doing to Josh Allen. They started playing the cover shell, the
Right.
cover 2 shell.
Having the 2 deep safeties and
Right,
just
and so-
taking away anything over the top.
Right. They want the gunslingers and Allen and Mahomes to go downfield. That's where they're baiting you to go. And when the Chiefs were 3-4 in 2021, that's what was killing them, was Mahomes kept taking deep shots
Right.
downfield when he started kind of running the offense.
You remember when he said, he was like, yeah, this is the first year I finally fully realized how to read an NFL defense. And that was a big changing point for him. Caleb Williams needs that moment to happen like now, because the clock will run out on you if you're a young quarterback in today's NFL. All right, let's get to long shots, where Sammy puts together a daily fantasy sports lineup for us and our listeners. There's actually some different promotions right now if you're using Prize Picks, where you can have a $10 protected play. I'll be utilizing that. If you have it too, go over to your promos tab. But that's what we use. We use Prize Picks. You can use promo code Fletch, get yourself a $50 bonus after you play your first $5 entry. This could be that first $5 entry. Sammy, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Pay that man his money.
with long shots.
Tyler on YouTube saying, get us a winning slip. Sammy, rock and roll. Need some birthday funds. Happy almost
birthday, Tyler.
Or today your birthday? Tyler, let us know. Sammy will sing to you on air.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
all right, so we got a 3-pick NBA parlay, and we also have some World Series action tonight. So we're going to start with the World Series. Blake Snell, more than 6.5 strikeouts. This is the Dodgers game. The Dodgers have to win this game if they're going to win this series. I think if they send this thing back to Toronto and they are down 3-2 with all the momentum, I think it's pretty unreasonable to think the Dodgers are just on talent going to go into Toronto, especially with the hitting woes. That's been the lying part of the Dodgers playoff run. In the Phillies series, they did not hit the baseball well. The starting pitching staff has just been so good that people kind of forgot about it. And you're looking at the Dodgers going, you have your moments where Shohei Ohtani in Game 4 against the Brewers hits 4 home runs. In game 3 of Teoscar Hernandez hitting home runs. Shohei Ohtani hitting 2. Well, there was also like 9 innings there where the Dodgers didn't score. So the Mookie Betts is extremely struggling right now. That's a massive problem for them. Max Muncy, pretty bad at the plate last night. This game is on Blake Snell. This is Blake Snell's game. He is going to go for a long time in this one. I know you get nervous betting overs on pitchers in World Series games, but Blake Snell is the guy. We saw the Dodger bullpen last night. Anthony Banda, Blake Trinan. That's a big no-no.
Do I get a veto today? Just out of curiosity. Not saying that's the pick.
Sure, you can get a veto. if you want.
Okay, what's next?
So Blake Snell, more than 6.5 Ks. I think he figures out this lineup after having a rough Game 1 against them. All right, we're going to the NBA. We're going to go Lakers, Timberwolves. You hear this game tonight. Austin Reeves, more than 20.5 field goals attempted. Austin Reeves, this is his game. I mean, the Lakers are dealing with so many injuries. Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Gabe Vincent. They're getting Jackson Hayes back tonight, which is good against the Minnesota team that has a really good front court. But Austin Reeves has been fantastic through the first 4 games of the season. Had 41 the other night, 51 the night before. It's all on him, especially against a Minnesota defense that lacks talent at the guard spot. Anthony Edwards is not there for 2 weeks. Dante DiVincenzo is starting at point because Rob Dillingham has not stepped up in taking that role, the young point guard out of Kentucky. I think Reeves has a big night, more than 20.5 field goals attempted. All right, we're going to go Chicago, Sacramento. Malik Monk, more than 12.5 points. Chicago's been really good. They're actually undefeated through the first 3 games of the season. But Malik Monk has quietly been really good for the Sacramento team. The Bulls are very thin. The Bulls are Kobe White and Matas Buzelis, and that's kind of about it. And they've been carrying it through the first 3 games of the season. Malik Monk comes off the bench for Sacramento. I think he has a big night. I don't see people on the Bulls being able to guard him. He has hit his over in every game except the last game, which was against Oklahoma City. And then my final pick, Dallas, Indiana.
Wait, what was the Malik Monk pick?
More than 12.5 points.
Okay.
More than 12.5 points. Final pick, Dallas, Indiana, Pascal Siakam. This is simply a pick because Indiana's 0-3. Siakam's a stud. Listen to the injuries that are on this team. Johnny Furphy, out. Benedict Mathurin, out. Obi Toppin, out. Andrew Nembhard, out. That's 3 starters for Indiana.
Man, I miss being able to use Benedict Mathurin in lineups. Remember when during the postseason?
So good.
Benedict Mathurin!
Yeah, Mathurin's legit. He was becoming a star too the first couple games of the season. Pascal Siakam, another field goals attempted bet, more than 21.5 field goals attempted. This is just him against Going against Dallas. Dallas dealing with a lot. Cooper Flagg coming off an injury. I think he's going to be able to take advantage of that and shoot the ball a lot. So to recap, Blake Snell, more than 6.5 Ks. Malik Monk, more than 12.5 points. Pascal Siakam, more than 21.5 field goals attempted. And Austin Reeves, more than 20.5 field goals attempted for the Lake Show. What's your veto, Fletch?
Blake Snell.
Really?
Dude, they just tore him up like 3 days ago.
You don't think that... Okay.
Look, that's me. You guys put in whatever you want, but Blake Snell just got tore up by this Toronto Blue Jays
Tore up's a
line.
little aggressive. He gave up 2 earned runs. It's just compared to how good he was.
Right. They were the first team to get to him in a few weeks. I feel like that maybe the script is out on Blake Snell from the Blue Jays.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. Blake Snell probably goes out and shoves tonight, but
all right, well, we'll remove it.
You're asking for one veto. That's my veto.
Well, I didn't ask. You offered, but that's fine. We'll take Blake Snell out.
In my text line, if you don't like that veto, let me know. 70470, start your message with team. All right, hour number 2 is coming up next. Get your text in now because Stan Lazinski, who is our fantasy football expert, will be joining us. Stan has been money all season long. If you need some help setting your lineup this week, Stan Lazinski is the guy for you. DynastyPriceCheck.com or hit us up on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. Also the YouTube chat at San Diego Sports 760. It is San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Aztecs football tickets coming up next.
This sport is sponsored by eBay. World Series Game 5 tonight after Toronto tied it up last night 2-2. Blake Snell will be going for the Dodgers, while Yesevich, the rookie, will begin his second start against the Dodgers tonight as well. Dodgers are almost a 2-1 favorite to win this one before the series goes back to Toronto for Friday and then possibly Saturday for a Game 7. The Lakers heading tonight, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 6:30. Austin Reeves have to lead the show with Luka and LeBron out. eBay is home to millions of finds, and each one becomes part of your story. From your favorite vintage band tee to the dream car you've been searching for or the foul ball you heroically gave away, it's all there on eBay. eBay, things people love.
It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher and Sammy Long taking you till 2 o'clock today. If you need some fantasy football help for week 9, our expert Stan Lazinski is going to be jumping on coming up in about 30 minutes, and he can give you that help. We have a pair of tickets for you to go to homecoming this Saturday night as San Diego State takes on Wyoming at Snapdragon Stadium. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff. J.R. Tolver and I will get going at 2 o'clock with pregame coverage. Should be a fun night out at Snapdragon Stadium. I know they're expecting this to be one of the best crowds for Aztecs football in a long, long time. So get on out there, support the boys. I think that up to this point of the season, they've earned that support out at Snapdragon Stadium. So let's fill that place up on Saturday. GoAztecs.com to buy tickets. Just keep listening for a little bit to win yourself some tickets. We will get to the big 3 of hour number 2 in just a minute. Did want to step off for a second because there's a growing storyline in the NFL of something that Sammy and I talked about yesterday as a potential possibility. Well, smoke creates fire, maybe the other way around. But all of a sudden, rumors are going around a little bit that Kirk Cousins may actually get traded to the Minnesota Vikings. He has said that he wants to be traded to a contender before the trade deadline this year. He's been the backup for Michael Penix, who is trending towards playing again coming up this week. But Kirk Cousins looked awful with the Falcons in his one and only start this season. So him saying he wants to get traded to a contender, well, a contender can probably get him on the cheap at this point. Is there a chance that the Minnesota Vikings really don't like JJ McCarthy and don't think he's going to be that guy and go back to somebody that Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are familiar with in Kirk Cousins? It feels like that would be shutting the door on any potential for JJ McCarthy with the Vikings, doesn't it?
Yes, and it means that they're cleaning house in the front office,
right?
Because you pinned your entire future on JJ McCarthy. I mean, this was a guy, I never got the JJ McCarthy selection. That's not just being hindsight. Like, I get it. He won a national championship at Michigan, but he was not the main reason why they won that. That defense was the best in college football by far. They had an excellent running game. McCarthy didn't have a game with more than one touchdown pass the final 7 games of the season.
Well, and the biggest part of that Michigan team was the run game, the defense, and the offensive line.
Right. So it's like and then he tears up in the preseason his first year, and then he gets hurt, which sucks because we want to see him play. And I'm not saying I'm out on JJ McCarthy.
He did have a really fun Thursday night game this year. Start against the Falcons, I believe. It was McCarthy versus Penix. That was a big deal, and he played well.
I don't think he played well in that game. He played well against Caleb. Well, that was Sunday night, and it was really bad. Caleb Williams, he played well in the fourth quarter against the Bears. McCarthy has talent. He's the guy that comes out of high school. He was a 5-star recruit. He lit up Ohio State a few times. Now, watching some of those games, a lot of that, again, was play action, guys running wide open, a lot of scheme from Harbaugh. I'm not out on McCarthy. We'll see where it's at. But if you're the only way, and I still wouldn't do this, the only way I could see you getting Kirk Cousins is if privately Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison are coming to you going, listen, we're tired of this and we need someone who can get us the ball. And although Kirk Cousins doesn't win in the playoffs, he will get us the ball. And he's probably going to come on the cheap because he was a disaster with the Falcons against Miami this past weekend. But I just feel like if everything we've heard out of Kevin O'Connell's mouth about JJ McCarthy's the future, this is the guy, this is who we're going to. You let Sam Darnold go. You let Kirk Cousins go. You let all these guys go, and then you let Daniel Jones go, and now you're flipping on McCarthy. I think they're going to look for a change in management.
All right, and one other quick NFL storyline. Tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football, is the Baltimore Ravens, who we were talking about last hour, against the Miami Dolphins. I believe that game's in Miami. And as of 20 minutes ago, latest reports are Lamar Jackson will be playing in this Thursday Night Football game as the Ravens look to become just the 5th team since 1970 to go from 1-5 to the NFL postseason. Lamar Jackson, I guess, was the leading voice in the locker room behind getting the ping pong tables and the arcade machines out because he needed the guys focused for his return and getting ready to go. Look, Lamar Jackson, if he can do this, I think will silence a lot of the haters that he's had throughout the start of his NFL career. If he could take this team that started off 1-5 to the postseason, he plays well in doing so. Perfect timing for him to come back. A Thursday night football game. The entire country is going to be watching, and it's against the Miami Dolphins, who've been a little bit broken this year, to say it kindly.
Do you think if he leads his team back and gets in the playoffs and loses in the first round, that helps or hurts his legacy?
See, it's a great question, and I think it's valid, but it's all going to depend on what the Ravens defense looks like the rest of the way. And if the Ravens defense can come back to some sort of form and play that kind of hard-nosed John Harbaugh defense by the time the postseason gets there, or is it going to be just a injured band of brothers going out there trying to do something and Lamar's being relied upon to put up 35 to 45 points a game?
Because it might really take the pressure off them. Like I mentioned this last week, the Ravens have been the team. They're like Buffalo beats everyone else except Kansas City. The Ravens destroy everyone in the regular season, destroy every team. Their record against the NFC is the best in football, I believe, in terms of AFC teams. And they get to the playoffs with all this pressure, and they've lost to Buffalo. They've lost to Kansas City. They have come up short. Again, they beat a Houston team last year with CJ Stroud, or a couple years ago with CJ Stroud in his rookie year. You wonder, though, if Lamar and these guys get in and there's not a lot of pressure. If they're the 7 seed and they fought back after all this injured season and they're going into a Kansas City or a Buffalo or Indianapolis or something, you wonder if they play free and they actually go on a little bit of a run because you don't have this, oh my God, we got to the playoffs. We're the number 1 seed. We're better than everyone all year. Everyone's picking us to win the Super Bowl and we collapse in round 1.
Something that I'll never forget is the second year of Lamar Jackson as the starter. I believe 2019. Remember, he came in for like the last 6 or 7 games after Joe Flacco went out. He started a postseason game, lost to the Chargers, actually. And then year 2, Lamar Jackson, he came out in the entire offseason. Everybody was talking about how this is such a mistake for John Harbaugh to hand the keys of the organization to a run-first quarterback. First game of that second year, he goes out against the Miami Dolphins in Miami, and it was the biggest middle finger to everybody who called him a running quarterback because he lit him up. It was like 4 or 5 touchdowns through the air.
They wouldn't even play corner coming out of the draft.
Way over 300 yards. Let me see if I can pull up the stats for that game. 324 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks in that first game of his second season against the Miami Dolphins, which was so much fun. So him coming back against Miami, I think that's fitting. Excited to see what that looks like tomorrow night. All right, Sammy, let's get to the big 3 of hour number 2. If you have fantasy football questions, get them in on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
All right, Sammy, where are we going?
Speaking of those Baltimore Ravens, stay in division. 3 head coaches, Zach Taylor, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh. Who is on the hottest seat in the NFL in that division?
Is it possible Zach Taylor bought himself another year with another Joe Burrow injury? That is possible for me. They've had a great offense when Joe Burrow's out there, and hell, it hasn't looked half bad with Joe Flacco at the helm. Now, I would fire Zach Taylor immediately because he got us kicked out of Circa Survivor, but that's a story for another day. John Harbaugh is weirdly the one that the most recent talks have been about. You even had Steve Hartman come on our show say John Harbaugh is an extremely overrated coach, which sort of came out of left field. I don't think anyone thinks that except Steve. But you have started to see it, especially with a 1-5 start. They're like, oh, really? Lamar goes out and this is what you are? But I think he has the excuse to fall back on of his entire defense also being out. If that wasn't the case, you could think they eke out one more win. The Tomlin thing has been a bizarre storyline for me the last few years. With all that being said, I would probably say Zach Taylor is the one who should be fired the most, but I think he's the most safe between these 3 coaches. Eventually, the noise is going to catch up to Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh.
I hear that. Yeah, Zach Taylor, I think, has held the Bengals back. I think they rode, when they upset Kansas City in 2021, they rode an elite Joe Burrow passing game. People forget why they shut down the Chiefs in that game. They had bad corners. They had great safeties. They had Von Bell and Jesse Bates. They let both go. So we're still living off this 2021 Bengals team, kind of thinking that they're gonna recapture that magic. I do think Zach Taylor's safe because of the injury, but I think next year he's gone. Mike Tomlin, I've always been a defender of. I think Mike Tomlin's a phenomenal coach. Now, I do like I got some friends who are Steeler fans who hate Mike Tomlin.
Same. And it's always been bizarre to me.
Now, I understand it a little bit more this year when you're supposed to be good at your side of the ball. He is supposed to be a defensive-minded, great head coach. And to give Aaron Rodgers credit, I've been very critical of Aaron Rodgers before they signed. Aaron Rodgers had a very good year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you trade George Pickens, you don't give him that number 2 receiver, but you acquire DK Metcalf. The defense is the reason why the Steelers are losing games. I mean, the defense where all the money's at. TJ Watt, Highsmith, Cam Moore, Hayward, excuse me. Like, you have a ton of these guys that are getting paid massive money. I think Tomlin will be done actually at the end of this year if they don't make the playoffs, but I think he would get scooped up. Harbaugh, I think, bought himself some time with the fact that of all the injuries, but if they get healthy here and they still lose with this given schedule the next month of the year, could be a problem.
Who next?
For them. Sticking the NFL, per Adam Schefter, no chance Garrett gets traded despite frustrations post-game. He had 5 sacks despite a blowout win for the Patriots over the Browns. So between the Raiders, Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, the Bengals, and Myles Garrett with the Browns, do you think any will get traded, and should any of them get traded?
Okay, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett. What was the third name? Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson is the only one I could see on the move. You say what you will. Max Crosby is a contract that the Raiders should be trying to trade, but 2 things come into play. Raiders fans adore, and I mean adore, Max Crosby. They look at him as the kind of cornerstone of their team. Second thing, I don't know that Max Crosby necessarily wants to be traded. He's said very publicly before he wants to be with the Raiders. He wants to be the guy that brings them back to relevance. And hell, he might be able to do it. Not this year, obviously, but maybe if they can get the quarterback and the head coach figured out. You want Max Crosby to be part of that rebuild. He can keep people coming into Allegiant Stadium. The Trey Hendrickson one is the most likely to me because the Bengals have already shown they have no allegiance to building up the defensive side of the football. I feel like they would be fine with shipping him out of town and getting whatever they can back for him. And at this point, it might be the smart move, especially in a season without Joe Burrow. Myles Garrett is the funny one, because it didn't make sense when they signed him to this massive contract. The best tweet I saw after that Patriots-Browns game was a little like meme of Myles Garrett at the press conference being kind of pouty, and then him going home and laying down on a bed full of $100 bills. Myles Garrett's one of the highest paid players in all of football, and he's earned it. He's on a terrible organization, but are you telling me that there's going to be people out there who on the front end of this contract are going to be bringing on $160 million worth of Myles Garrett? It makes sense. If you need it, sure, but who's going to take that money and not expect the Browns to pay any of it? And I don't think the Browns would ever just let go of free money.
I don't understand why Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, especially Max Crosby, want to stay. Like, at some point, this is kind of the Dallas Micah Parsons situation. I got to give Jerry Jones a little credit. I had a problem of when they did the Micah Parsons deal. Why didn't you do it before the draft and kind of be able to acquire assets for this year? Because you traded for George Pickens, who is, as evidence, he might just be a one and done because they're not in contract negotiations with him. You have an offense that's ready to go win a Super Bowl, but the defense is nowhere near close to it. But like, the Raiders secondary has been awful for 15 years. Awful. I mean, they have. It's amazing that I don't think there's been a group of a portion of a team that has been so bad in the entire NFL in the Raiders secondary for the last decade and a half. At some point, you have to go get assets and rebuild this whole team. They're going young with Genty and Bowers. I get you want Max Crosby there, but at some point you got to kind of reload this defense, because just having a pass rush with Max Crosby has not gotten you anywhere. Same thing with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, we're looking at going, I mean, you're just wasting your career on the Browns to get paid. Like, you would get paid elsewhere. You maybe not make quite as much money, but again, the Browns, I get they have a great defense. Where's everything else? The offense is anemic. Jerry Jeudy is your number one receiver, and he's had a really, really bad year. So I think if I was running those organizations, I would trade them, but I get it. They got to sell tickets, and that kind of comes into play there because they're big stars for their city.
All right, you got one more for us, Sammy?
Yes. World Series so far, game 5, happening tonight. Who would be the MVP through the first 4 games?
Ooh, it's a fun question, man. So it's 2-2, and I think you could go MVP for each side so far, really. Ohtani would be the MVP if the Dodgers end up winning this thing. He's done stuff that we've never seen before. He was on base 9 times in one freaking game, for goodness sakes. And then on the other side, it's got to be Vladdy. It's got to be Vlad Guerrero Jr. with the big pop last night. He's been fantastic. We can actually, let's get deeper into this series coming up next, Sammy. Take a quick break. Stan Lazinski's coming up at 1:30. Our fantasy football expert 70470. Start your message with team. A couple of questions have already come in. If you want to make sure yours gets answered by Stan, get that text in right now. 70470. Start your message with team for start sit questions in week 9 of the NFL season. Coming up next, World Series tied up 2-2. Game 5 coming up tonight. Who has the advantage? That's next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John and Jim will take over then. And we congratulate all of our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference, and maybe they will be one of our next winners for $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators who are shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Sammy, what was the name of your favorite teacher again?
Oh, Miss Ellis, second grade, the greatest.
Miss Ellis.
I still see her to this day.
Really? You get coffee with your second grade teacher every once in a while?
Yep.
That's nice. That sounds nice.
She's the best. I got a lot of good I actually enjoyed all my teachers in college. High school, very hit or miss. There's some ones that we won't name.
Is it your Spanish teacher? It's always the Spanish teacher.
No. Oh, Profe Musco's the best.
Profe Musco.
I see her I see her all the time actually at the gym, but I had another Spanish teacher in high school that will remain nameless, who I think still teaches there, who I would not recommend whatsoever.
Interesting. You know, my brother is a professor at a junior college up in Fresno City College, and he just found Rate My Professor, the website. He didn't know it existed.
Check it all the time?
So he just found it, or I think one of our friends sent it to him, and that son of a, he has perfect scores on it. Like all his students.
We got to go troll that a little bit.
I know. I was really hoping I could screenshot a bunch of really bad reviews talking about how terrible he is as a teacher and send them to him, but every single one on there was
I would be such a bad teacher. I just could not do that job.
Sammy would get into the classroom, pull up PowerPoint, have it on the big screen behind him, and be like, "This is why Patrick Mahomes is the greatest athlete who's ever walked the face of the earth."
I'd be like, "Listen, I'm gonna teach everyone
his jawline. It's so perfect.
Real stuff. Like, we don't need to see the inside of a frog. That's just irrelevant. You know, like, I'm not going to be a scientist. It's okay. There are people. God bless the people that are, because they do the important work. Like I can't do that."
All right, Stan Lazinski is going to be joining us in just a few minutes here on San Diego Sports 760. He is our fantasy football expert. If you have questions for Stan, you can hit us up on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760 or on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. Stan's going to be here in just a little bit. Aztecs tickets in just a couple minutes. Right now, Blue Jays, Dodgers, Game 5 coming up tonight. Game 1 was 11-4 Blue Jays. Game 2, 5-1 Dodgers. Game 3 was that 18-inning marathon, 6-5 Dodgers. Game 4 yesterday, 6-2 Blue Jays. Vlad Guerrero Jr. was the hero of that one. Game 5 tonight. Sammy, pitching matchup, Blake Snell against who?
Yesevich, the rookie for Toronto.
Who dominated in Game 1 or pitched well in Game 1?
He pitched well. I believe he gave up 2 earned runs. I'm curious tonight, though, because his whole thing is he has that super high release point. That's what makes him unique. He's a really talented young pitcher. Dodgers have seen it. So you wonder, like they talked about in Game 1, this is kind of a tricky Game 1 matchup, because if the Dodgers don't play the Blue Jays a lot, so they don't see Yesevich. I'm curious how he does tonight. Blake Snell, by his standards, had a really bad outing on the Game 1. By most people's standards, it was okay.
I mean, by his Dodger standards, by his Padres standard, it was pretty typical.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty true. But I'm curious tonight.
It's honestly insane.
The lineups came out. So Betts is down. They moved Mookie down to the 3 spot. They got Pajes out at the 9 because Pajes has been pretty rough at the 9 hole. But I'm curious for this game tonight, because this game changes how it goes the rest of the series. If the Dodgers win tonight, Yamamoto, I bet, will not be pitching in Game 6 and will be going Game 7, because you remember he was warming up for Game 3,
right?
And every one of those pitches counts. If the Blue Jays win tonight, I think it's going to be a tough uphill sled for the Dodgers to come back and win this thing.
I think baseball, more than any sport, like basketball in the playoffs, in the finals, whatever, usually you're going to get the best team to win, because 5-on-5, the best players can be a little bit more consistent in basketball. Whereas baseball, you legitimately are hoping for a hot lineup and a super hot pitching staff. And that's what can win you a World Series. And that can change night to night. It really can. Right now, the Blue Jays have the momentum after yesterday's game. They've pretty much wiped the slate clean of what was an insane, almost never before seen 18-inning marathon just the night before. So yesterday was one of the most impressive wins in World Series history, if we're being completely honest, because the team that just lost a marathon, emotional, heartbreaking loss comes back the next day and wins. If they can do that again and carry that momentum back home, this is the Blue Jays series.
I think so too, if they win tonight. On another note, I know we're about to go to break. The Padres, so They're still looking for a manager.
Why are we bringing up the Padres?
No,
right
I'm like saying the fact that the Blue Jays tied it up has given them another day, because once this series is over, it's free agency. Everyone's there.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with this team? Why there's been no news about an AJ Preller contract extension? There's been Albert Pujols interviews. Ruben Niebla is now a finalist for the job.
Pujols came out and said he was really disappointed he didn't get the Angels job. Would love to have the Padres job. I don't know what's happening.
What is going on in the offices? Like, why is there nothing happening with this team?
You answer this. In my head, there's not going to be a new manager announcement until there's an AJ Preller announcement, unless something never before seen is happening and AJ Preller is going into next year as a lame duck general manager.
Right. And by the way, what does that say to a manager coming in?
Sure, lame duck. I think I might have put an I in there at some point on accident.
Well, like, what does that say? Why would a new manager want to come knowing that the guy who's hiring you might get fired at the end of the season?
It definitely shrinks your pool of who you're picking from. It definitely makes the trout that you're fishing in a little smaller.
Like, not that they're in on Bochy, but a guy who has pedigree. They should be. They should. That is a managerial.
That should be number one. I don't know how it's not. It seriously doesn't make sense to me, Sammy, which is why I said, why did you bring up the Padres right now? Because this is going to be what I'm
it's just like the fact that the reason I brought it up, the Blue Jays extended the series. If this thing is earliest it can end is Friday, at the latest Saturday. What is going on? Where is the movement? Why is there not a contract extension? Like, are they just sleeping up in the offices up there? Like you're supposed to be putting a team together for next year, and it feels like it's more. I don't know. It's an odd situation.
Figure it out. All right. Stan Lazinski's going to join us next. DynastyPriceCheck.com is where you find him. Well, you get him for free here on San Diego Sports 760. So get your questions in for Stan, 70470. Start your message with team if you have any sit questions for week 9 of the NFL season. Right now, we have a pair of tickets for you to go see homecoming game for San Diego State versus Wyoming at Snapdragon Stadium, Saturday night, 4:00 kickoff. Sammy, what caller number would you like to give these out to?
Let's do number 8.
Number 8, half of J.R. Tolver's number. I like that a lot. Number 8 is going to see San Diego State football. 877-767-4760. If you want to go see the homecoming game on Saturday night, caller number 8, you're winning those tickets. Stan Lazinski is next at San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. World Series game number 5 gets going at 5 o'clock tonight on Fox. Mookie Betts has been moved down the lineup with all of his struggles. He's now batting third. Will Smith moves up to number 2. And per Ian Rappaport, Lamar is officially good to go for Thursday Night Football tomorrow night against the Dolphins. Need HVAC? This month get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast and reliable.
San Diego Sports 760 on a hot Wednesday in San Diego. What's going on, Sammy? It's 99 degrees in some parts of San Diego right now. We did not sign up for that.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
All right. Well, every single Wednesday we've been doing this NFL season where we bring in Stan Lazinski, dynastypricecheck.com. He's our fantasy football expert. He's a San Diegan. And look at that. He's on StreamYard today.
Yes, sir.
You can find us on StreamYard on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. You find Stan all over the internet at Dynasty Price Check. Find him there. Hi, Stan. Can you hear us?
Absolutely, guys. You hear me coming through all right?
Wow. Sammy pushed all the right buttons. Here we go. Off and running. All right. Stan, obviously, you don't know this. Sammy and I are hurting after week 8 of the NFL season. We had the Cincinnati Bengals in our survivor pool. We were supposed to be millionaires. We're not going to be millionaires. So we're a little sad when it comes to the NFL right now. But how are you faring in all your 9 million different fantasy football leagues here as we enter into week 9?
We're doing pretty damn well. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling good at the halfway point of the season. We're over 500 in damn near every single league, and most of them we got 2 losses or less. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
All right. Well, we got a million texts. You're starting to catch on here with our audience. So let's rip right through them. 858 says, y'all, I got to know Bam Knight or Bill Krosky Merritt, half point PPR. And then he has another question, but we'll save. So let's go with those two first. Bam Knight or Bill Krosky Merritt.
Give me Bam Bam. Love the matchup for Bam Bam this week, going up against this Dallas Cowboys defense that's letting everyone run all over them. And guys, I got to just say, I think the Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt hype, it's over. It's done. It's gone. You know, everyone wanted to ride the train, hop on, get after Bill. He's not consistent. I can't put him in my lineup anymore.
That sucks because I was high on him, and yeah, he has been a disaster.
You should have seen Sammy's face just drop when you said that.
No, but I'm with you on that.
Bam Knight, new guy with the Arizona Cardinals, right? He is looking good.
No, totally, he's looking good. He's looking good. Zonovan, as his real name is. I think the name and the flash is all there.
Are you going Kyler Murray or Caleb Williams? 6-point touchdown pass as well as rush touchdowns.
You know, it's a tough one here. I think I got to take Caleb Williams. They are playing the Cincinnati Bengals, as you guys mentioned earlier, a defense that is quite abysmal. I think matchup alone, we're going to lean on Caleb Williams here.
619 texting into the show saying Michael Pittman or Travis Hunter for this week's action.
It's Michael Pittman, and it's not even close. Quietly, Michael Pittman is wide receiver 6 on this season, guys. And man, I was so high on him going into the season, coming off that broken back, actually having a quarterback that can throw the ball, even though I had my skepticism on Danny Dimes. He's playing at a damn near MVP level. I think you got to ride out Michael Pittman this season.
Who are you going? 858 asks, need 2 for my PPR flex, to Turin McMillian, Ramondre Stevenson, T. Higgins, or David Montgomery.
No, I'm rolling out Tet. I love what I'm seeing out of Tet McMillan here. He's giving you a bunch of target volume, averaging over 8 targets per game. And if he starts finding the end zone more often, he could be a bona fide wide receiver 1 rest of the season.
619 number text in. I have a dynasty question for Stan. Well, good news. That's actually where Stan is at his best. Cam Scatterboo, what do I do? Do I trade him now or hope for next season?
Look, I'll put it this way. I am a big Cam Scatterboo buyer.
Oh no, they got him. The New York Giants were listening to the broadcast.
The stream.
They just got him. I could hear the dart go through the air and just bury itself deep into Stan Lazinski's neck. Stan, reset your monitor. Join us back. Dude, the Cam Scatterboo thing is frustrating for just about anybody who invested in the New York Giants or your fantasy football team. The Cam Scatterboo thing, I don't know what Stan was going to say there, but it sounded like he was saying he's a buyer. So if you're in one of these long format fantasy football leagues, maybe you could get him on the cheap right now, add him to your team. The thought is that his future is very, very bright still. But man, that hurts.
Well, if you look at the Giants as a whole, you're like, this might be the most exciting team next year. You get Neighbors back. You get Cam Scatterbo back. Jackson Dart's going to play out the remainder of the season and kind of get back and develop as a quarterback. They go get another receiver with that pass rush. Like, the Giants are a team to watch out for next year. But obviously that hinges on the development of Jackson Dart, which I think he's earned the right. Like, he has been a star, and the fact that he's been able to do it with the lack of weapons, with them not really having a number 2 receiver behind Malik Neighbors, and then the running back situation now with Scatterbo out, like that's a team to watch out for next year.
All right, I think we're getting Stan back into the program. Stan, are you there? Can you hear us? Maybe.
Stan Lazinski.
We're back in business, fellas.
Yeah, we're back in business. We got Stan back. What were you saying about Cam Scatterbo?
There you go. I got to make sure I can hear
maybe we
everybody.
don't
All
have
right.
Stan back. All right.
Okay.
You know what,
All right.
Sammy? Why don't we give Stan a call and we'll try to continue this thing on the actual telephone, and we'll just vamp here for a second while we get him back on. But the Cam Scatterbo thing sucks. Some other questions. I'm going to play Stan's real quick. 858. Whose defense should I play? Denver in Houston, or Seattle in Washington, or San Francisco in New York? All right. So tricky. It depends on whether or not Jaden Daniels is playing for Washington, which it sounds like he is. Seattle's defense, I think, is fantastic. Denver's defense has been great all year. I would not be scared of Houston's offense if I were you, 858. Denver's defense is so good. Houston took advantage of a very beat up 49ers defense, and Houston has not been good offensively all season long. CJ Stroud has really struggled. I think going up against Denver's defense, Denver is probably the play there. And then an 858 number who needs 2 for their PPR flex position, Ramondre Stevenson, T. Higgins, or Montgomery. I'll be honest, I've been riding with T. Higgins all year in one of my fantasy football leagues, and he's kind of been killing it for me. Like, he will have some big performances. Let's see if I'm right on those or if I just led everyone astray. Stan, an 858 number texts in and says, I need 2 for PPR flex, Ramondre Stevenson, T. Higgins, or David Montgomery. Which way would you lead them?
I'd be going with Ramondre if he's going to play. He's actually shown you a lot this season, and we'll ride T. Higgins out here with the Bengals under Joe Flacco. Hopefully Joe is going to be good to go for the game. Also, I know we had some technical difficulties over here, but I am buying Cam Scatterbo in Dynasty, if it's any consolation.
That sounds great. That's basically what I said, everybody.
What is a waiver wire pickup that if you're in a budget league, maybe you've been hanging on to that budget that you're going for this week, you're kind of keeping an eye out for to help you down the fantasy stretch?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the waiver wire is starting to get thin, fellas, as most people have probably already tapped into, Travion Henderson over on the New England Patriots. If Ramondre is going to miss some time, could finally see the usage we were waiting for. I'm getting word that Dearness Johnson is getting some touches in practice right now, which is just making me scratch my head. But outside of that, Tyrone Tracy's obviously your number one priority with the Scatterbo injury. Troy Franklin's a deep cut out there that's actually quietly putting up a top 30 season out here on the Denver Broncos and looking like he's going to be exciting, as well as Tajay Spears starting to get more workload than Tony Pollard, has the receiving game upside. Those are maybe some guys that are still available on your waiver wire that you can grab.
All right. An 858 number asked about defenses, and I answered that masterfully. I would say I told them to take Denver's defense over Houston, because while Houston was good offensively last week, I don't think they're going to be as good moving forward because they were playing against a beat up 49ers defense. So Stan, don't even worry about that one. I got that under control. What I will ask you is, do you think defenses are dying in fantasy football in general?
Yeah, I do. And I think here's the main reason, guys. I was actually talking about this the other day. It's the change in the kickoff rule. I think you're seeing so much more advanced positioning from these offenses. Their average starting position is just over the 40-yard line this year, which is just insanity compared to where we've been in the past, starting on the 20. It's just harder for defenses to be able to withstand the offensive game plan when they have such a short field to deal with. So I do think, unless you're getting a generational defense with a ton of takeaways, maybe like that old Seattle Legion of Boom, got to shout out my guys, you're probably not feeling too confident starting any defense right now.
Lamar Jackson confirmed for tomorrow night against Miami. What do you does he instantly go back to a top 5 play, or are you still worried because the offense is so injured?
Yeah, I mean, obviously anybody coming off injury, I feel a tiny bit wary about, but to the degree that I'm not considering playing Lamar Jackson if he's on my roster, that's just not in my mind. I think, when Lamar's playing, he is a top 2 quarterback to have. I think you got to roll him out even with the risk there. Speaking of that game, Derrick Henry, guys. I know he's had some slow weeks here and there, but Miami's allowing the 5th most rushing yards per game on the NFL this season. I think you got to roll out Derrick Henry this week.
Any worry about some potential trades like a Brees Hall? Would that be a situation where you're worried about maybe selling him off before the trade deadline, or would you hold on to him in case whatever position he ends up in is even better?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I see anything happening with the Brees Hall side of things. I always expect the NFL trade deadline to be a lot more exciting than it is. Unfortunately, it's no NBA. I think the only guy that's really high on my radar right now as far as trade deadline goes because of the offseason concerns and him submitting the trade request was Jacoby Myers. I'm starting to hear a little bit of rumors that Pittsburgh might be interested. So you might see Jacoby Myers on the move, and that could be an interesting buy in your fantasy league if you're really wide receiver needy right now and you could get a cheap guy from somebody who's willing to give up before he gets moved. But outside of that, I'm not seeing a lot of splash moves.
Stan, you're the best. What time are you going to be live at Dynasty Price Check tonight?
Guys, so exciting. Tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific time is our Dynasty Trade Show. We're filming it live. It's going to be on all platforms, posted to YouTube afterwards for your enjoyment. Trade Titans, episode 2, coming your way.
Well, that sounds intense.
Trade Titans.
Things are moving up in the world. Stan Lazinski, we love it. We caught that rocket ship early. Thank you, Stan. Appreciate you a ton, man. We will talk to you next week, and you have a great week, man.
Appreciate you guys. See you next week.
Stan Lazinski, the best doing it right now in my book. DynastyPriceCheck.com is where you find him. He'll manage your lineup for you if you want. Thank you to Stan. We'll be right back. Close this thing out. Coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. And here's a name that not a lot of people know here in San Diego, Sammy. The name is Sheena.
Sheena.
She runs a lot of the marketing.
Sheena is
over at one of the best places in the world named Jack in the Box.
Ooh.
And Sheena just came by and said, I was listening to your guys' show and oh my God, it's so good. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long. That's my favorite show in the world. And then she said, but you guys sounded so hungry and you guys needed some food.
Munchie meal.
And Sheena brought us the Munchie Monster deal. Or sorry, the Monster Munchie deal plus Monster Munchies. Which looks amazing, man. I don't know. I will be digging into this.
Jack in the Box is really it's really top tier.
From curly fries in here?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, my man is munching on that over there. Yes, Jack in the Box, fantastic. Very slept on fast food restaurant.
I would agree, man. And they got all sorts of stuff, but this Monster Munchie deal, it looks like it comes with some tacos, some churros, some little chicken nuggets, some French fries.
Tyler got my reference. I said Sheena is, and it said is a punk rocker.
Also comes with some new cups. If you're watching on the stream, you can see them here. You can get those at participating Jack in the Box locations. But thank you, Jack in the Box, and especially Sheena.
Thank
we
you very
appreciate
much.
You a lot. This is good stuff, man. All right, before we get out of here today, we do need to make some picks. We need to say some thank yous. How about who won those tickets for Aztecs football?
Carrie C.
Carrie C. What's going on, brother? Thank you for listening, Carrie. Appreciate you being here today. Stan has apologized to me like 5 or 6 times about the lack of internet connection.
Stan, you're good. Everyone loves you. Everyone says Stan is the GOAT. Tell Stan I said hi. This dude knows his S. Like, everyone loves Stan.
Also 619 texting in saying, is your guest Stan Lazinski any relation to the great Philadelphia Phillies Greg Lazinski? Spelled differently, I'm assuming there's no relation. Maybe way down the line, somewhere some ancestors might have crossed paths, but Stan is Lazinski. Greg is Lazinski. So no, I don't think so. All right, picks for tonight. Sammy, you got some betting info on Dodgers and Blue Jays game 5.
So Dodgers almost a 2-1 favorite. Makes sense. You'd think that this game probably means more to the Dodgers than it does for the Blue Jays. Toronto did what they had to do, which is get one in Los Angeles. If they win tonight, I'm not saying it's over because the Dodgers' amount of talent, they could certainly win 2 games back to back. But that's a tough sell. I mean, if the Dodgers lose tonight, you lost 2 of 3 in Los Angeles, and then you got to go to Toronto, which is going to be rocking. That place was an amazing atmosphere through the first 2 games. So Toronto's plus 165 on the money line. Dodgers minus 190. Run total's kind of higher. Usually these run totals are set at 7.5, set at 8.5 tonight. Kind of surprising considering the both pitchers that are going and Blake Snell and Yusevich. I do think the Dodgers win tonight. I think, again, I kind of mentioned at the top of the show, I think we've seen 2 games in the series where it's a direct correlation to the last game. I think Toronto heard all week in game 1 that this wasn't even a series. This is the Dodgers to lose. It's a joke. They come out and slaughter the Dodgers. Then you kind of see Toronto celebrating like they won the World Series. Dodgers come out and bludgeon them game 2. And then Dodgers win a crazy game, one of the greatest games you've ever seen in your life. And then game 3, in game 4, you're looking there going, they feel like they were sloppy, look like they were kind of just out of it from the get-go. So I think the Dodgers are locked in tonight, knowing that they have to win this one. I think the Dodgers win this one.
I think so too. Look, if you're going to have a scheduled loss in a World Series, which is a crazy thing to say, but this feels like that night for Toronto. Like they did their job by stealing one on the road. Now they get to have 2 games at home. And look, it's going to be chaotic. I do think we're heading for a game 7 in a World Series, which is about as good as electric. It gets. Man, it's about as good as it gets in the world of sports. All right, before Sammy and I take off, I am going tonight to San Diego State USD, so follow me on social media at Fletch Sports. I'll post some updates and see how the boys are looking out there at San Diego State, but I'm really excited for this Aztecs basketball season. I think Dutch has maybe one of the best teams to start a year that he's had over the last 10, which is crazy because they've had a team that went to a national championship. But when you look at how deep this roster is, some of the new guys that have come over, Sammy, if you think back to last year, one of the biggest missing pieces was a lethal 3-point shooter, automatic scorer. Well, they went out and get a Latrell Davis, who might not even be starting on this team, but that's what they needed to do. But Sean Newman Jr., LZ Harrington, obviously the guys who we know and love, and the Reese Waters and the Miles Bird, we're going to get our first look at them, some of them tonight. And if you want to follow along with that, at Fletch Sports on social media.
It's exciting too because this team needed a point guard last year. Miles Bird, exactly. Miles Bird had too much ball action where he's bringing the ball up. That's not Miles Bird game. Miles Bird needs to get the ball in the half court and let him go to work. It's nice that Sean Newman's there. I think this team, sky's the limit for this team.
And from everything we've heard, Sean Newman Jr. is an extremely unselfish type of point guard, wants to get the assist numbers up. Taj DeGorville coming into year 2 with the program, also a true point guard. Excited to see what this looks like, man. Pumped for tonight. USD's gotten really good too. They've taken advantage of some kind of newfound blood in college basketball, which is going to Europe and bringing some guys over and offering them some NIL money to professional players. And those guys will be on the court tonight too. Looking forward to it.
Shout out to you, John, on the chat saying he loves listening to the show every day, and with the funky Cole Medina reference from Sheena. That's just a beautiful way to end the show.
John, we love you. We'll see you all tomorrow. John and Jim are coming up next at San Diego Sports 760.